Yo, what's up, man? It's your boy CD Rome, Watch Your Narrative podcast, presents the league. Sitting down with two guys here today, two players. Last episode I was able to talk to two of the captains, and they kind of talked about what they were looking for, what the goal was with them taking on the role of captain. So now I want to get it from a different perspective, a perspective of the players. And in this instance, I'm glad to have these two guys on. I've actually been able to win two separate championships with both of these guys. First championship with Robbie and second championship with Chris. So both times I was, riding their shoulders. So I appreciate the ride, guys. Appreciate the ride. So with us for sure, man. We got Red Smoothie for himself. Chris, what's up, man?
What's
Wavy,
going on?
the wavy one. And then we have I don't know why I want to say the bald headed assassin. That's
That's
something
crazy.
that,
No, no, no.
that's just
That
it's
is.
just it's just coming off. It's coming off the tongue, man.
I'm gonna see you in fives tonight. We can let that slide. I'm gonna see you in fives tonight. Don't worry about that. Nope.
Does that
Nope.
not have a ring? Ball
All
like
right.
you remember back in the day whenever you did the ball head where you went off game six,
This is
Robbie?
true. This is true. This is true.
Yeah. Whenever he came out with the ball head,
This
man,
true.
it was over. He was locked in, dialed in, man. Ball headed assassin. I don't know if it's gonna stick, but hey, y'all chat.
It's
Y'all,
finna stick. I can tell you right now, them niggas them boys finna run with this one. They're
gonna
finna
definitely
take
run
off
with
this
that.
one.
yo. So hey, without let's get right into it, man. First of all, man, before I get into my official interview, man. Wavy, of course, is part of the Watch Your Narrative family. Is
Sure.
one of the panelists anyway. So like, I want you to put you know, your news hat, your media hat on here
For
with
sure.
me as well. Let's talk about league news first, man. So since the last pod, we've had a few things happen with the league. Of course, we had one captain drop because of scheduling,
Hmm.
and then another one, took over the helm. And then we also had a trade. I'm not even gonna say a blockbuster trade, but it was just a trade because there was nothing special about it. Um, so tell me what was y'all initial thought. Let's start with the trade first because I think that's a bigger subject. Bryant, who was on last episode, had number one pick, and it was a snake draft, so everything that came forth. He made a trade with Keyshawn.
Mm.
Keyshawn the number one pick, and then he takes the second pick. No forfeits, no. I mean, just completely switching spots. So I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Will you tell me what were you guys thinking when you guys heard that?
I knew it was gonna happen. I knew Brian was gonna allow, even though I mean, looking in hindsight, he made the right decision because it's just that pick is just tough to have. And I mean, Brian is a serviceable 2K player, but if you're gonna have the number one pick like the Yoke did last season, you gotta be an elite guy. That means that you can't be a average player, in my opinion. You gotta be a championship proven, championship GM type in order to accomplish that with the number one pick. Because that is a tough area to be in. You're not gonna draft again into the what is it, the bottom of the second round?
Second,
Am I
yeah, bottom of the
I
second, top
mean,
of the
come
third.
on, bro.
Yeah.
Like that's tough. So I think he did right in trading it. Now, off principle, tell me they don't want to play with me and they're a high tier player, you're coming to my team and you're just gonna be in purgatory. I'll use the reserve every week. You won't play. And then
Yeah.
you'll ask for a release and you won't play that season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what were your
You
thoughts,
know,
right?
I mean, I didn't show my ruthlessness with TGM. I should have. But when I had the Akatsuki, I was ruthless. I cut best friends out, team, and everything. Let's be for real now.
Yeah.
Robbie know
Yeah.
that season.
Yeah.
But
No, yeah, yeah, that's funny you say that because now, with it's funny with the media, and we're gonna talk about this later on, but with the media thing now, with me kind of just doing the media, I see now that when you're trying to be as truthful as possible, you got a lot of people who, you know, get their feelings hurt because it's just what your opinion is at that point.
I
You know,
mean,
so
I'm pretty sure people are gonna take slight with what I'm saying, and I'm gonna see you during the season. But honestly, I don't care. I'll take smoke with anybody at this point. That's how good I'm feeling about this 2K and my play on there. So I'll
yeah.
take smoke with anyone, bro. I don't care. It's the truth.
Yeah.
Like we with this Eli Manning pulled this in 04 at the draft, talk about I'm not playing for certain people, I'm not playing for the Chargers, and he got his way. And yeah, he won 2 Super Bowls later in his career. And yeah, we got championship proven players draft board, but if I was Brian, I'd have kept that number 1 pick, and I would have picked who we all said he was going to pick. Runs with tool lock. It just would have been what it was.
Yeah.
Like, and like, I can understand why, bro felt that way and why he didn't want to play team. I get my N1. Sorry. But I ain't rocking with it, bro. Like, now I disagree with what you said in the chat. I ain't like that. I ain't gonna lie.
What that?
But you was like, oh, but because I feel like you feel like there's a slight chance you could fall and be on that team. And you don't want no hard feelings. Like if I get it, I gotta call you out, bro. I gotta call you out, bro.
Oh man, nah, you didn't let me set up the.
That was sheepish. I don't really need no sheep. We need wolves out here.
Listen, man, you didn't even
It
let me.
was alive and someone didn't catch it. Someone didn't. I'm not gonna name no names.
The joke, man. He
didn't catch live.
As soon as I posted it, I immediately said right after that, but you still gonna be babysat to me, because what I was trying to basically say at that point was, hey, no hard feelings, but you still babysat. I mean, with that type of mindset. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I don't want to get too far ahead because I do want to talk about that later on. But Robbie, from your standpoint, like when you heard the trade, because you're the one who broke it down to me, man. On the media, nobody told me anything. Like I'm putting a mock draft up thinking that Brian still had the number 1 pick and there was no announcement. Nothing was known, outside of people who was in the chat. So, but when you first heard it, what was your thoughts?
So my reaction was about the same as yours. It was the initial confusion. Like, okay, so you traded the picks, but what else you get with that? You get no forfeit wins, nothing. Bro, it was confusion.
Oh, man, that's terrible.
And then when I got the details of the trade, disappointment, man, because you had the number 1 pick.
Number 1 pick, man.
You had a guaranteed superstar in your pocket.
Yep.
I'm leaving with something. If I choose to trade that pick, I'm leaving with some. You giving me a win. You give me 2 wins, maybe. You giving me some. I'm not just trading all, and then to trade every pick for every round. That's a rough position to be in.
Right.
But and then there was also disappointment with the reasoning behind the trade anyway. Because come on, man, you can't let nobody. If you in a position as a cap, you can't let no player tell you that they ain't gonna play for you. Off the strength of me being a cap, I'm picking you up, and you can demand a release, or you can suit up every night, or we gonna get them forfeits. If we throw the whole season, it's on you. You the superstar player,
and that'll go on your record. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm about to say, and the league gonna hear about it. So either you gonna play, or you gonna request to demand that release, and you gonna play for nobody. Hey, I mean, to each their own. He handled it how he felt he should handle it. And when he explained it, I understood his viewpoint of being determined to get a chip and not wanting to deal with anybody who might get in the way of that. I understand that, but at the same time, you gotta come in with some pride, man, with some authority, man, because that's the reason you a cap, man. You got to make decisions. Got to make hard decisions, man.
Yeah, it's hard decisions as a cap. I think Brian's, he's been a captain before, but now yet and still you're still you got to find that out the hard way. Like a lot of people want to be captains so they can kind of pick their team, guarantee their spot, then also some because some pick anyway.
Can I throw this little tidbit in there?
Yeah.
I just feel like that I'm scared for the team he drafts because you already starting out making terrible GM decisions. No way. There's just no way. I'm not going for that. Like, and I already got an idea who he's gonna draft. I mean, if he doesn't draft the guy, like, I mean, get your captainship up. Because if you don't draft this other guy,
who we talking about? I mean, because you could say,
the draft call. He's got the draft. Let me tell you something. I'm also a conniving. I'm drafting Kyle because I know Oss want him. Keep players away from each other. No, you can't play with him. I'm gonna keep it a B.
Yeah.
Draft board.
That's funny. Yeah, no, but like And
Go ahead.
and Brian, I've been in Brian's situation before, and Chris, you were there. You know how that went. So and Robbie, matter of fact, I was on the team where Robbie asked out. So like we weren't playing great. Robbie and Daenerys both hit me up asking out. At that point in time, as a captain, I was like, well, I got to make a trade that's best for the team. I can't trade you guys for nothing without anything back, because just because you want out, because it takes five. Like it took five players to put us in the hole we're in. So I was like, you know what, I got to get something back. I'm not giving up my first two picks. Because Daenerys and Robbie basically my first two picks. I'm not giving it up for nothing. So, but then on the flip side, I was also with the Ace situation where Ace axed out, and I was willing to work things out with Ace. Of course, me and Chris was on the
And man,
phone.
you still, I didn't get the full story on that, and I'm gonna publicly apologize. Two said on this episode, I didn't get the full story. I didn't know you had tried to put the for the team. I didn't know that.
No, I mean, but if you think about it, so like this was a 3-person argument, right? If people in the chat, like this was Chris and Ace both were upset at me from the way that I left the chat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the way I handled that tonight, I was mad more so because we didn't practice. We were going, it's like people were coming in off of a high because we just won a championship.
Yeah.
Only won 4.
I was one of them, I'll admit it.
We only won 4 games during the regular season. We just happened to win the championship. So I'm like, bro, we got to lock in. We're better than we were the year before with getting Daenerys, ahead of Elijah. So like, we're already better. Like, let's just come out here, dominate the whole season and win. So when we didn't win and lose, we lost the first 2 games. I immediately was like, okay, this is exactly what I thought would happen. Long story short, me and Chris had words. Ace jumped in. He had words. Next thing you know, the me and Chris situation, because we're boys, we got on the phone, we talked, and then we were like, hey, bro, let's get Ace on the phone.
And he went
Ace on the
phone.
phone.
Now I remember.
Yeah. And he's in the chat still blowing up the chat going off, though, right?
Where, can I be straight up? Too? He also had another captain in his ear.
Hey.
Mention his name because he requested his name not to be mentioned no more. I ain't gonna mention his name.
Yes,
I ain't gonna
he said that. I respect
it. But this same guy is the one that tried to come up with the tampering with our players.
Yeah. And I knew about that for the longest time, but I let it go. But either way, I don't want to get too far off the rim. But yeah, so I've been there before. So I understand B's situation, but I would have definitely, it's too early. You ain't even played a game yet. Like, there's no way I'm allowing someone else to now change my mindset to say, you know what, if I can't, because he said this to me personally, so I know it's true. He said he was disappointed because he was going to draft Ajante, and why do I need the first pick if I can't get him? So it really was it was a messed up situation. But I want to go to the other side of the coin. I want to go to Ajante's side of the coin, right? Ajante, I could read off his accomplishments in this particular league. He's a 3 times champ, MVP of the league, finals MVP. I mean, obviously one of the top guys, right? Went from babysat to, now we know who he is, Ajante. Because for the longest time, that first season we was like, who is this 2 guard? He cold too, but we don't know who he is. But now we know who he is. And have y'all ever been in a situation where, as top, because you guys are champions as well, champions, finals MVPs, the whole deal. Have y'all ever been in a situation where there was, before the draft, specifically a captain that you did not want to draft, or that you didn't want them to draft you? And then how did you handle that situation?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Twizzy's team. I'm not trying to be fair. I love Twizzy. He picked up me and James.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I told him, I forgot. Oh, I think I told him to draft you. C-spot. Because you were still playing center at the time. And I told him to draft you, and he refused. You or somebody, but he refused to draft him and drafted babies.
Who?
Babies. I'm not trying to put people names up there, but
Okay.
sold us that whole season, bro.
Yeah. But I mean, but
I
before
know who
the
that
draft,
is.
though,
I ain't gonna say his name. But the memories came flooding back. Yeah, that was a real situation for sure.
yeah. Well, I mean, what about you, Robbie? I mean, have you ever had a situation
Um,
where? Go ahead.
I ain't. My mentality ain't like that. Where I'm like, I don't want to play for this person. My mentality is, if you gonna pick me up, let's try. Let's do our best to win. You may not have picked the best team, but if you ain't picked the best team, let's be practicing every week. Let's be consistent in the game plan every week. If you can't do those things, then you should really trade me. But I really haven't been in a position where I just didn't want a specific person to draft me. Now I do have preferences on where I go. I'm not gonna say that. I definitely have preferences. I always got a preference because I'd rather play with some people
Of
more than
course.
others.
Of course.
I
But
do
I ain't never
too.
been like, man, if that person draft me, I ain't gonna play.
Right.
I'm
I
gonna
ain't
keep
never.
it a bean, Robbie. I already told the captain.
What happened? I can't hear
I
you.
told.
It's going. You're going in and out. No.
Look, let me
There you go. We hear you now.
You got me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I've already told the three captains, like, if you pick me up, I'm buying in and I'll play for you. I done shout out messages already. I'm not going to disclose their names, but there are also two captains that I'm not refer to, and I told them that don't draft. Well, y'all know one. I told him he's gonna be. I'm gonna be terrible until you trade me.
Yep.
I don't know who you get drafted with, though, man. I always look at it like this, and you guys are way different players than me. I'm a lowly, undrafted role player.
That power forward kind of tough. I didn't want to tell you that, but that power forward been kind of tough.
Compared to you guys, though, right? You guys have been the cornerstone of, of teams before. So for me, from my perspective, I can't speak from a Jonte's perspective of what it means to be that, to hold that weight, to know that I need others around me to be able to help me to win. But I do know this, though. I just feel like if you're like, you just gotta be careful about the things you say and how much you talk about yourself, in a certain way. And then all of a sudden, when it's time for you to buckle your shoes up and just and just say, hey, may the best team win. Of course, yeah, you want the best team, right? But
I'm glad you said that.
You gotta accept whatever the cards is dealt and say, you know what, because I'm him, I'm on the phone immediately. All right, who else you getting, Brian? Like, let me tell you, let me get the floor, bro. I got this.
Does that take away, to me, they don't want to play for a guy that considers themselves and once again, Brian as a lower tier player, I consider him as a serviceable player. I consider him as a guy that can get the job done when he doesn't have to think too much. And it's not saying he's, like, call him out his name or nothing. I'm just saying, when you simplify the game for Brian is the most effective. When he knows, I'm here to play defense and shoot threes. I'm here to grab boards. I'm here to play defense, grab boards. I'm not here to score. I'm not here to make passes. I'm here to do. He has a defined role. Brian is top tier, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not going to put you on that level. I think you're a little better than him as far as you can call plays, you can run plays, you can call defenses, stuff like that. Certain players that are not considered upper echelon top tier players have their qualities. You know what I mean? Like Neil. Neil's not an upper echelon player, but he's a great defender. We know he's gonna come in and play good defense. He might go over 15. He gonna have 13. He gonna have 13 steals with it. Like, he's another guy I enjoyed playing with. But the question I was gonna ask you was, does it take away from somebody when they say, I don't want to play with this guy because he's not an upper echelon player? Because to me, I said I didn't want to play for this particular captain, but like, if he picked me, I'm gonna put on my work boots and go to work. Like, I ain't just gonna sit. I ain't laying down for nobody on this. I'm gonna keep it a bean. I'm gonna go ahead and declare it. I'm the best at 2K this year. I do. The best center, can do everything. Playing down for nobody. Nobody.
You shouldn't. I mean, so to answer your question though, from and I'm just gonna speak from a media standpoint, right? Just from a media standpoint. Media had on, guys. Media said, don't be mad. It depends on, I think everybody, depending on what you like, right? Some people love Michael Jordan. Some people love LeBron James. The way LeBron James won is way different than the way Michael Jordan won, right? So I think you got to look at it from that perspective. The way that Ajante has won his rings is way different than the way that Austin has won his rings, is way different than the way that Chris and the way y'all won y'all rings.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the team that especially the Mercenaries, me and Robbie, like that team was not crazy stacked. We just played. We had two great players.
Y'all had a Kyle and y'all had a Robbie.
Exactly, and everybody else
Virgin Ryan and a defensive player instead. It was
they knew their role. We knew our role.
Best teams I've ever witnessed play. Because I thought Bel Air was gonna mop y'all because they beat us. And when the team, it's like Bama and Georgia, right? They played last night, and I thought Georgia was gonna mop Bama. New coach, but had the more proven quarterback. Bama had the more proven wide receivers, the more proven defense, and it showed last night. Whereas I kind of compared those two teams because on paper, on mop y'all, they had Yoke, high level, Denarius playing at a high level. Yonko was playing at a high level as a center. Who they have? AJ, he was on that team. They had a little solid team, and then Kevin,
yeah.
Who was I ain't gonna lie, there's no diss Kevin. I don't believe in you. I think you one of the poo players of our chat. I love you to death in person. Love you to death.
Yeah, but he was
a brother. I don't even know he got the game, Chris.
He was a top point guard at the time though. He was definitely a top point guard at that particular moment.
But like now, no. But
3 years ago, he sure was, man.
I keep it a bean though. Like I said, I'm not laying up with nobody. I'm not gonna physically. I told them, like I already told, like I said, the three guys who I will buy in for. They already know. We got messages. They want to expose me later on in the 2K season because I said they suck or something. They'll be able to do that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
You can't just lay down. I can't respect it, bro. Like I have so much respect for that player, and it's just like it killed it. It just killed it, bro. Because it's like, what? And number one, I thought this was your homie because you was big up in him in past seasons.
Big up in him. Hey, Chris, big up in him. Big endorsements all the way around. That's all I heard was big endorsements. All I got to say is this.
Wait. Take on the responsibility of being a captain if you don't want to play for somebody.
Yeah.
No, he forfeited the right. He forfeited the right because he put his name in the hat to be cap, and then removed it when certain people said that they was gonna be cap.
That's the part that actually upsetted me, right? So number one thing, y'all remember at the end of the season, right, or the end of last 2K, I tried to get together this tournament, right? Mm-hmm. And some people decided that they didn't want to do the tournament. And to what I was looking to, because there's always a lot of chitter chatter, right? And this is just like with the mock draft thing, right? I'm putting out these mock drafts, and everybody's like, "Oh, these mock drafts are poo." But then when I ask, "Okay, well, tell me what you would do," nobody
can't tell you.
Nobody wants to tell me, "Oh, this is what I would do," either because they're afraid or because
they want to play with a certain player, and they're like, "Oh, I don't want to move him, and he gonna take it as disrespect." That's all it is.
So it's like, okay, well, just shut up then. If you don't want to say, that's just because the only reason I drop him in the first place, because you think about all the times we've done top 10 lists. Chris has done a top 10 most poo list, right? So we've been doing lists and I didn't like the list. I don't like the top 10 list. That's why you never see me do it. I always do a role player list.
Doing a top 10 list for decades. But even this 2K, I was going to steer away from it, say it, because like you said, it just causes so much turmoil, so much of people getting upset, and why? Because I've gotten upset. Like I ain't gonna lie, I got immense respect for Hunter, but Hunter is not going over me in this draft, bro. Like let's keep it real, bro.
I knew when you said, I knew exactly the person.
And Hunter is. I want to play with Hunter.
Yeah.
Asked me would I be, and I said, heck yes. Hunter doesn't demand you already gonna have me demanding it. Let's be real. As a big, I need at least 10 put-ups a game. Like, let's keep it real.
I mean, that's right. But
I score with my. I get busy with mine too. So
I want to go to Robbie real quick. Robbie, when you heard the alleged text message as a person, because I've heard you, vocally say you may not want to play with certain people as well. I mean, but what came to mind? How did you hear about it? What did you feel at the moment?
Well, for one, saying, hey, I don't really want to play with somebody, but I'll do it, in my opinion, is completely different than personally texting somebody and telling them, hey, don't pick me up because I'm not
cold-blooded right there, boy.
Boy, who? All I got to say is this. You can't argue that you are a leader of men.
Ooh.
But you scared to lead ones that need leaders.
Ooh. God.
And I'm lead at that.
Because he told my brother that in the chat.
I was about to say he told my dog that he was the leader of men.
And I got quiet because it was a little bit of truth to the statements, but it wasn't.
That's a strong accusation to make, to not be able to back up.
That's why I'm so perplexed right now, because this is one of the players that I would like to eventually link up with on the team, but
me, I don't care.
That hurt my feelings, bro.
I don't care. I'll play with whoever. I won't play with whoever. If you can play with me or you ain't got to play with me. That's cool. I'll just want to run. Just want to play 2K.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you can't say certain things and then not back them up. You feel me?
Yeah. I don't even think nothing else needs to be said after that. We're gonna move forward from that. I think that's perfectly stated. So that's league news, right? Then the other piece of the league news, of course, was Cody taking on him. We lost Josh as a captain. He'll be playing, still got his name in the hat, but he only can play Tuesday through Thursday. That's gonna be rough on any captain. So we'll see how his draft stock is affected. Just strictly for the scheduling standpoint. I know in my mock draft, I didn't have him on it, just mainly due to that fact, because most games are held between, Friday and
Monday.
So it's very rarely do you see, because most of those games are going to be late because people got meetings. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, that's going to be rough on any captain to try to, just for that one player, make some adjustments like that. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see how it goes. His schedule may even change. We'll see. Or, and Josh, he could be doing this just so nobody could pick him. He can get on a certain team. You just never know with that guy. Just never know. But in other news, Cody. So as we ain't got to talk specifically about Cody, but I want to go to you guys as players. You guys were top players both in the first 2 rounds of the draft for my mock draft. Chris, originally I had you going to Yoke's team due to whenever I do my mocks, my ears are to the street. Number one, I'm listening. I'm not even asking questions. I'm just listening to things that happen in the chat. I'm hearing what people are saying about certain players. So I know what the narratives are around players, even if they don't know what their own narratives is. Because if you think about it, for the most part, people talk louder when you're not in the chat.
Yeah, they do.
Chat, they don't gonna say what they want to say.
That's a fact.
But when you out the chat, they get real loud about what they feel about you. So for me, usually when I'm projecting these, I'm listening to all these different things whenever I'm making my mocks. So right now, I got, last mock I dropped, Chris, I had you going to Cody because I think, there's a relationship there. I think it'll be a good fit too. But you tell me, in your own words, what are you looking to do as a player? You already mentioned that you feel like you're the most dominant center in the league, but tell me kind of like what type of play style would fit your style as a dominant center?
I'm not going to lie, a grit and grind. We're pounding the rock in the paint. I'm getting boards, kicking it out the shooters. I'm very big on that. I'm not going to lie. I've become so obsessed with boards at this point that I've been through actually 2 bigs already on this 2K because they wasn't boarding like the one I got now. I think it's gonna be him. These boards, but like I'm become obsessive with boarding the ball. Like I watched Austin dominate me on my smaller center that I had made. I made a center kind of like I made last 2K. He was slender. He could score lights out, but 10 boards a game versus 28 boards a game, that's gonna show up.
Yeah.
So I kind of went more of a post-up play style. Oh, yeah, good go, Rob.
post up play style on this big that I got now. So I need a grit and grind. And I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead. I told Cody and Yo, those are the two captains I want to play for this 2K. I want to play for those two guys. They know me. They can deal with my personality, especially Yo. Especially Yo. Like I've been playing with Yo for a few 2Ks, and that's one guy I've never really gotten into it with. And Cody's the same way. I have so much respect for those two guys as players on the game and as guys in the league. Both have won championships. Cody won his first season in the league. Yoke winning 2 straight. I mean, they're proven now, and they're willing to put in the work to win, and that's where I'm at right now because I watch Kyle and Patty come in, and I feel like I don't get my name sung in the same level as them as bigs, but I feel like I'm on their level or better, and I'll keep it a bean. Like I just do. I mean, Robbie told me I wasn't a couple days ago. We still arguing about that, but
no, but I stand. What I tell you I was
going to do?
Me
he stood 20 toes.
You thought I was going to falter because we on the podcast?
All I know is that was a good shot, wasn't it? All I know is I feel like I'm on their level, and we're gonna see this season. I'll put it like that. Mark my word. Mark my word.
So what about you, Robbie? Like, you're number one. I seen the submission, and I only saw a point guard. So you're looking to play PG this year. You've played PG in the past before, even in the league. I mean, you were on a point guard the year we won a championship. So I don't think you probably remember that. Or the Mercenaries, you literally were at the point guard position when we won a title. So what type of style as a point guard, you're running the show, what type of style are you looking to play? What team are, if you're talking to a captain, this is what I need if I'm going to run the show?
Well, so whenever, if I get drafted, I say that. My goal is to become a respected point guard. Now, people, there's buzz. There's buzz with people saying that, okay, Rob doing so-and-so, Rob, it's either good buzz or bad buzz. But at the end of the day, it's never going to translate until it translates in the league into success.
Yeah.
So there are certain pieces I need. I need a competent big. And I think this is imperative for anybody who's looking to run point guard this year. You need a 2-guard that can go get you a bucket. If you ain't got that 2-guard that's gonna get you a bucket, you're gonna suffer because you're gonna get blitzed.
Yeah. I can agree with that actually. Yeah.
But
go ahead.
I'm just thinking.
I know you're playing 2K as well. So
yeah, I'm about to say I'm also on the game, but at the same time though, there are also certain captains that are gonna fit my play style. I was trying to figure out how to word it. There are certain captains that are going to fit my play style better than others. And they know who they are, and they know, and I've spoken with some, and they know who they are. But but there are definitely some that are going to fit my play style more than others. And I've spoken with a few, and we're going to see what it do. We're going to see what it does because hopefully, I'm hoping to fly under the radar. There may be a shortage of point guards, but a lot of these cats are going to make a point guard if push comes to shove. So I'm hoping to fly under the radar and then go to a team that I'm needed.
Right. Yeah. I think for sure, and I think this would. I think it's for any star player. I mean, in you guys' caliber, you would rather be that second round pick because how to put this? So there are levels to the captains that we have, right? So we know that Brian being a captain. He's not a Yote. He's not an Austin. He's not a Keyshawn. He's not Cody. And that's no disrespect. And in a Cody spot, he's probably closer to the Cody than anything, right?
Yeah.
But
he's closer to the Cody. I still think Cody's like an all-star. Brian is like a solid role player.
Very solid.
Like sixth man of the year.
And Brian, I love the fact that just like myself, I've accepted. I know I'm not a some type of all-star, and I actually don't want to be. Y'all can have that pressure because then I got to be in the lab and I got to grind, make sure I'm hitting my shots and all this other stuff. I ain't got time for that. Like let me get a board, let me get a block, let me be the glue guy, let me call a couple plays, get a couple. That's it. That's what I'm here for. So, but for you guys, if you guys go in that second, that means that someone else got drafted in the first. That means that
I'm gonna have a problem.
you got a running mate.
I'm
But
gonna
that
have
means
a problem.
you have a running. You have a problem.
Oh, somebody go before me. I just can't name 4 players that's better than me. This 2K, I can't.
Like, and I mean, and you know, from a mock standpoint, when I did my mock, I had you in the first round. I had you pick number 5, right behind.
I was sick. I was literally watching the Auburn game, watching us lose, and then you dropped that, and I was already.
But
mad.
Behind Ajante, Kyle, Petty,
going before me,
and
off of just personality, and I know they're going before me.
Yeah. But I agree with after those 4 names, because to me, I would be more than shocked if those 4 names aren't the first 4 names off the board.
Right.
From what I've seen from all 4, well, I take that back. Jonte is a special case because I haven't actually played with him. I haven't seen him play. I haven't heard much buzz about him at all. But I think the name speaks for itself. The thing we talked about earlier with the trade speaks for itself with Keyshawn. So we know that he's probably going in that first pick. But after that, it's, you know, those 3 players that are going to go. And then after that, it's kind of like where you want to go as far as a fit goes. So even with Yote's case, you know, Yote has that last pick, you know, depending on which way he want to go. But either way, I feel like if you're a captain, you just got to pick the best fit for your team.
Yeah.
And
I want the captain to do that. I'm not saying I will actually be. I'm just gonna be looking at people like I just, like I said, I can't name at this point in 2K. I'm sure they'll surpass me because they're gonna play more than me. You know, I'm starting to get older, so I don't have as much interest like I used to.
Yeah.
I'm so cold. I'm sorry. But I just, like I said, I can't name 4 people. But I'm not gonna get mad. I want a good running mate. I need that good. Which, I mean, if I get drafted to Yote or Cody, that's a running mate right there. So now let's get us some decent
pieces.
Play a role.
Yeah,
bro. Like,
yeah.
Talking about he want 4 and 5, and Cody talking about he wants to win 2-3 straight on this 2K. So let's do it. I mean,
same here. Trying to win 2 guys. Saul cares about championship.
Yeah,
so if I may say anything to the captains as a humble role player, you know, I'm just here to get rebounds and play defense, man. And you know,
I want 2 this year. I need to make up for last year. This is the last year's first year I ain't had I had a ring in 2K. I want 2.
So
2 of them.
So this is gonna be my last question. I'm gonna let you guys go, and I'm probably gonna jump on 2K with you guys in here in a second. So who, and we're not excluding the captains, who do you feel like is your biggest competition this year at your position? I'm gonna start with you, Roddy.
George kind of filled the spot that I was gonna be as, like, you know, there's gonna be top 3-point guards. It was Ajante, it was Aus, and then it was me because there wasn't nobody else. It was me, and it was Josh, but Josh wasn't really doing nothing, and we haven't seen James in action yet. So It was me, and then George came, and that was my spot. So as of right now, my rival, I don't care if he acknowledged me or not.
You said that too. You actually said that in the chat. I remember. I was wondering why you said that when you initially said it, because you was like he was your rival, and I'm like, so when did you and George get a rival? I thought that was Yote, but hey, another person, Yote may run point.
Me and Yote have kind of grown up from our little rivalry. I feel like ours was 2K22, and it was solved in my opinion. When I got that chip, it was solved. We haven't been head to head since. So I really don't have no real rival right now besides George. George is my rival. Unless Austin, does Jonte get on point? Well, Jonte says he's getting on point or whatever the team needs, he says. But
they will.
Yeah, I'm about saying, and I believe that, but he's running the point. So, but for now, in my head, George my arch nemesis. That's my boy. Love him to death, arch nemesis.
What about you, Chris?
I'm gonna say if he's playing big Austin, we don't have some intense matchup so far on this game. I haven't played against Kyle. Petty. Me and Petty have had a secret rivalry. It's been quiet. It's quiet. It's a mutual respect, kind of like a KG Tim Duncan type deal.
Yeah.
It's a mutual respect, but when we go, we trying to crush each other. I'm gonna say at the big position, Kyle and Austin. and Petty.
Yeah. So you
And
gotta
I know, and
right.
they'll never admit it, but they don't view me as on their level. But like I said, when we get on the court together, they'll start to see it. They're gonna see it as 2K.
So at some point, I was gonna do this, and I think I'm gonna definitely do it pretty soon. You know how I done the, in the past I've done the Watch It Truth by Rome version of the, the podcast, and where it's more of an intimate setting. And so I know even for myself, I was thinking the other day about all the seasons we've run, and I started thinking about Mount Rushmores. I started really, really thinking about Mount Rushmores because I don't think that there's any, I jokingly call Austin the GOAT, right? But there's really no truth behind it because it's so many layers to this that factors into whether or not, because every ring ain't the same. Even though you may say I got 3 rings or 2 rings, like when we really sit there and look back and think about it, what was your position? What was your role? What was your team look like? Who was your competition?
And what 2K it was, because some of them
Right.
rings outdated. And I'm not
Right.
gonna name no name, but that ring done lost its value, and you know who you are. It
Yeah.
done lost its value. You need a new one.
Yeah.
My shoulder still hurt.
Yeah. So like, but you got to factor it in. So at some point we're gonna start talking about Mount Rushmores, and I'm gonna be excited to kind of broach that
All
conversation.
I know is my shoulder still hurt.
Yeah.
And the footprint.
But hey, man, but listen, guys, I appreciate you guys coming out, showing some love. We're all 3, in the draft, of course, as players. So of course, we have history there. So hopefully if we get a chance to play together, that'd be great. If not, we'll lace them up and we'll see what happens. So hey, man, appreciate you coming by and Watch Your Narrative. We're out.
Of course. Dang, Chris gone, man.
Gone. That boy left quick.
We are in the Files game and we're losing.